Hey guys, so today I'm going to respond to something a little different. So there's this site, Prager, which isn't even a university, it's just this weird guy who makes videos. They're basically propaganda videos. They're basically kind of not even right-wing, I mean they are right-wing, but I'd say even Christian right-wing propaganda videos. And they're just not well done at all. Like I said, they're very, very biased. Some of them are anti-SJW, but they don't even make good anti-SJW arguments. And so this one is like a right-wing SJW argument. It's about the so-called war on Christmas. So, let's get into this. I know this probably isn't the content that you were expecting, but, you know, I consider myself a skeptic. I like to refute bad ideas wherever they may come from. So, I'm gonna just respond to this video.
The change from wishing fellow Americans Merry Christmas to wishing them Happy Holidays is a very significant development.
Oh, it is, huh? Kind of like how microaggressions are apparently a significant development and safe spaces are very important, that kind of stuff, right? I mean, and there's not even really a change from Merry Christmas to Happy Holidays. It's true that there has been a bit of a push by SJWs kind of within companies and stores to just say Happy Holidays all the time, and I understand that that might be like a little inconvenient, that might be a little PC, but most of the time, people have been saying Happy Holidays for a long time, because there's a lot of holidays going on during that season other than just Hanukkah and Kwanzaa or whatever. It's, you know, there's Thanksgiving, there's Christmas, there's New Year's, so people have always said Happy Holidays, but it's like, oh no, there's a change, there has to be a change.
Proponents of Happy Holidays argue it's no big deal. Proponents of Merry Christmas are making a mountain out of a molehill.
There's not really proponents of Happy Holidays or proponents of Merry Christmas. You're the only people who think that. And it is no big deal. It really is no big deal. The whole thing with being PC is that it's inconvenient. That's what PC is. It's intentionally going out of your way not to offend people. And ironically, this is exactly what you're proposing. You're proposing that we all just say Merry Christmas so that you and your fellow conservative Christian people don't get all butthurt.
But the Happy Holidays advocates want it both ways. They dismiss opponents as hysterical.
Exactly. That's exactly what's going on. The lack of self-awareness here is just amazing. Again, these people pretty much mirror SJWs. They're kind of like the original SJWs.
But at the same time, in addition to replacing Merry Christmas with Happy Holidays, they have relentlessly pushed to replace Christmas vacation with winter vacation and Christmas party with holiday party.
No, nobody's pushing for these things. People, yeah, sometimes will say Christmas party, sometimes will say holiday party. It doesn't really matter. I don't really care. Listen, Mr. Prager, whatever your name is, I'm an advocate for freedom of speech. I'm a big advocate for freedom of speech. So I believe you can just say whatever you want, and it doesn't really matter. And even though I do oppose the authoritarianism that SJWs have been pushing, you know, you should say this and censor what you say to not hurt people's feelings. Again, this is exactly what you are doing. You are the right-wing version of an SJW.
So then, which is it? Is all this elimination of the word Christmas important or not?
No one is trying to eliminate the word Christmas. You're the only one who's seeing it as an attack on you. No one is trying to eliminate it. People are only sometimes saying Happy Holidays, sometimes saying Merry Christmas, not saying Merry Christmas necessarily all the time, because it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter, except to idiots like you.
The answer is obvious. It's very important. That's why so much effort is devoted to substituting other words for Christmas.
What? This doesn't even make any sense. You're the one who's making a mountain out of a mole here. You know how SJWs will think, for example, that being surprised that someone is gay is like sexist or homophobic or something, and it's not. Like people saying, oh, it's no big deal, I just didn't know that person was gay. And they're like, no, it is a big deal. It's showing how much devoted you are to whatever homophobia or sexism or racism or whatever. Like, that's exactly what you're doing. You're doing the exact same tactics of the people who you claim to fight. And the thing about these extremists is that they will think that every single person who doesn't agree with them must be on the other extreme, and this is basically what this guy is doing. He thinks that everybody who doesn't agree with him, and who doesn't care whether you say Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas, is suddenly an SJW. No, you have to care about people saying Merry Christmas.
And these efforts have been extraordinarily successful. In place of the universal Merry Christmas of my youth, In recent decades, I have been wished happy holidays by every waiter and waitress in every restaurant I have dined, by everyone who welcomes me at any business, by my flight attendants and pilots, and by just about everyone else. When I respond, "Thank you, Merry Christmas," I often sense that I've actually created some tension.
First of all, I don't believe this. Some people say Happy Holidays, some people say Merry Christmas. It doesn't matter. And second of all, even if that was true, what's the big deal? Why are you so butthurt? Look, here's the thing. It's funny because when you look at these far-right people, they don't want language to change at all. They just want everything to stay exactly how it was when they were a kid or whatever. And then SJWs want everything in every part of our language to change, and I see both of that as authoritarianism and an attack on freedom of speech, because it's saying you can't really say what you want, you have to talk a certain way. So, again, it's still the exact same thing. And language does change over time, but here's the thing. We should neither stop language from changing over time, or try to accelerate it in this unnatural way. We should just let it go with the natural flow. And, like I said, the only real change from Happy Holidays to Merry Christmas is maybe within stores or something, and that may be like a PC thing. And I think that's kind of stupid. But, again, language does change over time, and people have always been saying Happy Holidays. I don't know, maybe it's more common now, maybe it isn't. I don't care. Nobody cares, except for idiots like you. Heck, even the SJWs don't care that much. Although some of them might push to have everybody say Happy Holidays. I haven't even heard of that being a common thing in their circles.
Many of those I wish Merry Christmas are probably relieved to hear someone who feels free to utter the C word. But all the sensitivity training they've had to undergo creates cognitive dissonance.
What? This is making no sense. Okay, so what you're implying here is that there's some kind of a conspiracy in which people are being taught sensitivity training. And sensitivity training is actually a real thing that SJWs have been trying to push. But I've never heard of it being used for Merry Christmas. So you're saying that there's a big conspiracy and everybody's being taught the sensitivity training, and there's no evidence for this. And you're saying that when you say Merry Christmas, they become uncomfortable. Again, I've never heard of that happening. I've never seen that happen. Some people say Merry Christmas. Some of them will say Happy Holidays. Plenty of people use it interchangeably. It doesn't really matter. But I've heard nobody being uncomfortable with the C word. You're making a huge deal out of this. I mean, what you're saying doesn't even make any sense. You're saying everybody's been brainwashed to say Happy Holidays. Okay, again, not everyone is SJW. People who don't agree with you are mostly not SJWs. You're not even making any sense. Your arguments are just as bad as the people who you claim to be against. You do realize that.
The opponents of Merry Christmas and other uses of the word Christmas know exactly what they're doing. They're disingenuous when they dismiss defenders of Merry Christmas as fabricating some, quote, war on Christmas. Of course it's a war on Christmas.
What? What? What you say? What? What is this? Like I said, this is every single bit of bad and as cringy as SJW view. No, some people saying Happy Holidays and saying why you so butthurt when you complain about everybody has to say Merry Christmas, otherwise it's a microaggression. But when everybody's responding to that, as any normal human being, when you respond, you're like, oh my god, that means it's a war on Christmas. Everybody is out to get me. Again, you would easily make fun of an SJW, but you don't realize that you're using their exact same tactics and getting just as butthurt over just as much of an insignificant thing as they would.
Or more precisely, a war on the religious nature of America.
Okay, so I can understand if everyone around the sky was being an SJW and saying, oh no, you have to say Happy Holidays, not Merry Christmas. Then I would understand that they would have a point. But again, that's not even what's happening. But now he has to bring religion into it. That completely invalidates his argument, because Christmas is not celebrated as a religious holiday anymore. It's really just not. It's been taken over by corporations, and now it's more like a giving presents to each other holiday. A lot of people celebrate it in a secular way. I celebrate it in a secular way. Almost everybody I know celebrates Christmas in a secular way, and there's nothing wrong with that. So saying that like there was some original religious value to it and now it's not there anymore, yeah, that's not because of political correctness. That's not because of SJWs. That's just because of the natural evolution of things. Things naturally evolve. Language naturally evolves. Traditions naturally evolve. And now there are not as many Christians. So there are not as many people who celebrate Christmas out of religion, and there are plenty of people who celebrate it as a secular holiday. Now it's taken on a completely new form that it did, say, 100 years ago or even 50 years ago. And like I said, that's okay. That's natural. That's not, nobody's forcing that. SJWs or anyone else aren't trying to take the religion out of Christmas. So what are you even saying? Like, who's trying to take the religion out of Christmas? The religious nature of America? Okay, first of all, America is a secular nation. Second of all, there's just no religious nature to America. Yes, most people in America are religious, but it doesn't mean America as a whole is really religious or something. It doesn't mean America as a whole is Christian either.
The left in America, like the left in Europe, wants to create a thoroughly secular society. Not a secular government, which is a desirable goal and which in any event has always been the case in America.
So even you admit that having a secular government is good. Okay, at least we're on the same page there. But no one except for maybe some crazy SJWs who I haven't even heard of SJWs, becoming a straw man for this. I have actually met a couple SJWs who don't want people to say Merry Christmas at all, but even among SJWs, that's a rare thing. No SJW is trying to take the Christ out of Christmas or whatever.
But a secular society. Most people do not realize that the left believes in secularism as fervently as religious Jews and Christians believe in the Bible.
What? No, the left is just a political view. It has nothing to do with your religious view. It's true that there are plenty of people, including myself, who are on the left, but who are atheists, but you're strawmanning the left so much. It's just insane, and I'm not trying to make like anti-far-right videos pushing my own narrative, because I've seen a lot of people who are on the right who make anti-SJW videos just so that they can show that, their conservatism is better or something like that. I'm really not trying to do that, but this guy is really strawmanning everybody who's on the left. And no, first of all, a lot of people on the left are not atheists, and second of all, those who are don't believe fervently in secularism. Like, what are you talking about? The only thing that a lot of liberals have pushed for is just things like separation of church and state, which you admitted is a good thing. No liberals, no true liberals, or even SJWs are trying to push atheism. I don't even know what you're saying. And you're arguing that them believing, even if it is true that they believe in secularism as much as religious people believe in religion, you're still arguing that that's somehow worse than religious people believing in religion. Like, you're just making no sense.
That's why Merry Christmas bothers secular activists.
There's no such thing as a secular activist. Like, point to me some of these secular activists who just want no religion in anything at all. You can't find any. Even among SJWs, this isn't a concern. You're on your own here, dude.
It's a blatant reminder of just how religious America is and always has been.
What? You're making no sense. Like, you're completely just pulling these facts out of nowhere. Your evidence, your conclusions don't even make any sense. I have a feeling that either you didn't write this or you're just making this up on the spot, because what you're saying literally makes no sense. You're saying that there are secular activists trying to take religion out of Christmas and out of everything in America, and because these secular activists are doing that, therefore America must be very religious. Like, you're making no sense.
So here's a prediction. Activists on the left will eventually seek to remove Christmas as a national holiday.
No. What is with this slippery slope argument? Like, again, there's not these secular activists out there. Even SJWs don't do this. No one is trying to remove Christmas as a national holiday. Who would do that? Like, 95% of the population celebrates Christmas. I'm sure many of them are even SJWs. So, what? And I'm not saying that slippery slope arguments don't have validity sometimes. For example, when you have authoritarians like SJWs and this guy, they will try to become more and more authoritarian and limit more and more things and limit your behavior more and more. So a slippery slope argument does make sense in that context, but in most other contexts like this one, it just makes no sense, especially because the people he's talking about literally don't exist, except in some maybe very few rare instances, but it's not even a thing within SJW movements.
Now, the left doesn't announce that its agenda is to thoroughly secularize American and European societies. Instead, they offer the inclusiveness argument that Merry Christmas or Christmas party or Christmas vacation is not inclusive.
Again, only SJW is really making an inclusiveness argument. And you're saying that the entire left, not just SJWs, but the entire left, wants to completely secularize everything and suck the religion out of everything. But no, they don't announce it, but you just know that they're doing it. So you're basically strawmanning the entire left as authoritarians who want to take religion out of everything. That's what you're doing. Again, what if I strawman and the right as everybody who wants to put religion in everything? You would say, oh, that's not correct. We're not trying to force a religion upon you. In fact, many people on the right are not religious at all. And you'd be correct. So why do you think you can do that to the left? Again, this is what extremists do. They strawman the entire opposing political side as the political extremist side, basically. And like I said, it'd be like if I strawman the right as all being conservative Christians who are all bigots or something, which is what SJWs are doing, by the way. It's just the exact same tactics. This is like proof of horseshoe theory right here.
This inclusive argument plays on Americans' highly developed sense of decency, but the argument is preposterous. Who exactly is being excluded when one wishes someone Merry Christmas? Non-Christians? I'm a non-Christian. I'm a Jew.
So why are you even concerned about this? What? You just announced randomly in the middle, oh yeah, I'm Jewish. Like, what? And the only thing that Merry Christmas would be excluding is people who don't celebrate Christmas. Now, again, I don't think that's a huge thing because the vast majority of people do celebrate Christmas, but it would technically exclude them. It's not just non-Christians. Like what are you saying?
Christmas is not a religious holy day for me, but I'm an American, and Christmas is a national holiday in my country. It is therefore my holiday, though not my holy day, as much as it is for my fellow Americans who are Christian.
Wait, but you just said that people were trying to take religion out of Christmas, and so they would get rid of Christmas out of national holiday. But you just admitted that you celebrate Christmas secularly. So which is it? Is it a religious holiday, or is it a secular holiday, or what? You make no sense. And if you're Jewish, you probably celebrate Hanukkah. I'm just assuming that. Maybe you don't. I mean, if you're, like, I'm assuming that he means that he's religiously a Jew. So he would probably celebrate Hanukkah. Okay, so what if you only celebrated Hanukkah like a lot of Jewish people do? Then Merry Christmas technically would be exclusive to you. Now, again, I'm not an SJW whining about that. That's not a huge thing. You know, I don't really care whether somebody says Happy Holidays or Merry Christmas. But it's just funny that you would celebrate Hanukkah and then get mad when people don't miss you Merry Christmas. Like, this is so confusing. He just literally contradicted every single thing he just said. He's like, oh, it's all about religion, but I don't celebrate Christmas religiously. Like, what? But then it has nothing to do with religion, but you just said that the entire left was trying to get rid of religion in our society. Like, which is it, really? Which is it?
That's why it's not surprising that it was an American Jew, Irving Berlin, who wrote White Christmas, one of America's most popular Christmas songs. In fact, according to a Jewish musician writing in the New York Times, almost all the most popular Christmas songs were written by Jews.
What is that even an argument for? Like, what? It's just so random. Oh yeah, I'm Jewish. Look, everybody. It's almost like he's tokenizing himself. You know, he's saying, oh, I'm the token Jew here to fight for the butthurt Christians like Joshua Feuerstein and all those people. Like, again, this is making no sense. That's not evidence that every single person on this earth celebrates Christmas. I mean, again, it's not a huge deal if somebody who doesn't celebrate Christmas gets wished a Merry Christmas. I'm sure most people wouldn't care, except, again, for butthurt SJWs. But you're a butthurt right-wing SJW when people wish you Happy Holidays, and you get just as butthurt as an SJW would be about Merry Christmas. Like, again, you're just exactly what you claim to fight against.
Apparently, all these American Jews felt quite included by Christmas. By not wishing me a Merry Christmas, you are not being inclusive. You are excluding me from one of my nation's national holidays.
No, no, it's not. No, they're not. Because Happy Holidays includes Christmas in it. Like, what is this mental block here? I'm not understanding. Happy Holidays includes Christmas in it. It's not like happy every single holiday except for Christmas. No, that's not what's going on.
But even if Christmas were not a national holiday, I would want pilots to wish their passengers Merry Christmas, companies to have Christmas parties, and schools to continue to have Christmas vacations.
And they all do, regardless of what they call them. The thing is that most people, like I said, celebrate Christmas, and so a lot of the holiday festivities are directed around Christmas. Regardless whether somebody calls it winter or Christmas vacation, it's still pretty much Christmas vacation. It's still pretty much a Christmas party. Look, nobody's being excluded here. What are you talking about? Nobody's trying to not celebrate Christmas. Like, what?
Just because I don't personally celebrate Christmas.
Wait, you just admitted that you don't celebrate Christmas? Or are you just using that as a hypothetical argument? I don't even know what he's saying at this point. So it sounds like he's Jewish and he celebrates Hanukkah maybe, and not Christmas. But now he's again standing up for the butthurt Christians. He's basically white knighting for them. Because it's really Christians who get butthurt about these kind of things. I have a feeling he's just white knighting for them. But again, holidays includes Christmas. You're not being excluded, dude. So calm down. Stop being so triggered.
Why would I want to drop the word Christmas when the holiday is celebrated by 90% of my fellow Americans?
It's 90%. I thought it was 95%. Anyway, although I don't know if his statistic is correct. But again, when people get wished a happy holidays, that includes Christmas. And most people get wished Merry Christmas anyway. It doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter. So, like, again, you're the only one who's butthurt about this.
It borders on the misanthropic, not to mention the mean-spirited.
No one is standing up against Merry Christmas. No one gets butthurt, except for maybe a few SJWs when people say Merry Christmas. People don't care, unlike you think it is. It's just that some people say Happy Holidays sometimes, and some people say Merry Christmas sometimes. And again, I don't care. It doesn't really matter. Freedom of speech. Like, nobody is denying people their right to say Merry Christmas. That is not what's going on, regardless of what you think, okay? So just calm down.
To want to deny nearly all of your fellow citizens the joy of having Christmas parties or being wished a Merry Christmas.
You're like showing somebody getting beat up and stuff, like you were going from 0 to 100 so fast, which is exactly what SJWs do.
The vast majority of Americans who celebrate Christmas and who treat non-Christians so well deserve better. So please say Merry Christmas and Christmas party and Christmas vacation. If you don't, you're not inclusive.
Oh, look at you being the authoritarian, dictating what we can say and what we can't. Why are you against SJWs again? I'm confused. You act exactly like them. And this whole thing, oh, it's so mean-spirited. You have to be nice to everybody who celebrates Christmas. It sounds like virtue signaling to me, honestly. Again, he's white knighting and virtue signaling to people like Joshua Feuerstein. Again, you're guilt-tripping people, which is exactly what SJW do. I mean, I'm sure I could show like a similar SJW video right next to yours and just compare it, and it would be so similar. Because again, you're mirroring those authoritarian tactics. You're just doing it from the far right. Like, this is just, this is so mind-boggling that it's just so similar to what SJWs do.
You're hurtful. I'm Dennis Prager.
Oh, and I'm so serious about this non-issue. Reagan.com. Reagan.com. Private email service. Okay, please tell me that's a joke. I'm thinking it's probably not. But it just, I start losing my hope in humanity when I see that there's a website called Reagan.com which donated to this quote-unquote course, which isn't even a course. Again, I don't know why he's calling it courses in university. I think it's just to make himself sound smarter. He's trying to mask that he acts exactly like SJWs, but Reagan.com, like, I'm sorry. It's like if there was something called AnitaSarkeesian.com and it donated to SJW stuff, which I'm pretty sure there probably already is. So that was the end of this very cringy video. I know it wasn't exactly what you probably were expecting. I hope that you would agree with me that it's just as bad and just as cringy and just as awful arguments as SJWs. So I'll probably return to making my normal type of content. Like I said, I just like to refute bad ideas in general. So I'm thinking of also doing another video on another group that's also ideological extremists, but not really SJWs. I hope you enjoyed this video, and as always, thanks for watching.
Feel the funk blast.